How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to Upside DIY. So I'm just making a couple of videos at the end of August. So I sorting out stuff. I've got a few suitcases in. Kind of sorting out a few things. I got this bag here because, or this roll around just because it matches with this toolbox. I got just more duffel, kind of like a laptop bag. Some of the bags that I already worked on, uh, you know, rocks basically. So the first two, one of them was really bad. I should have returned it. It was only $10, why not? Um, well, yeah, returned one of them basically, and did so just to start off into gem collecting. First, you need a good vendor, or and also some of the tools, which I'm basically see if it's a real stone or rock. I've had to start off with just basic stones that I've collected and things to test the gem detector, and then a scale, and the last part, besides what I just, with the having rough, it's $0 to $10. Then if it's faceted, it's $10 to $100, and if there's and after you facet it, you also need alloys. Like, let's take this as a, and those, when it's jewelry, it becomes between $100 to $1,000 depending on the quality. These things become valuable because there's no real other easier way to gem detect. Just you know. So what you do is you get these parcels, or you can even find rocks. A lot of people are finding, um, different things. Um, and then the next thing. So these, if you get stuff like this, it's pretty much not useful. Um, in the high-end jewelry, you need clear, transparent pieces. But so if I for the so I these are kind of like the leftovers. Oh, and I didn't even show any of this light to actually check for clear ones. And with the gem detector and things, really don't want to take up too much time, which might register this as like a 4 or a 5. So the next part, so I've got this gem detector, and the next thing is yeah, you got to check every single stone, but there's actually like a meter right there, and sometimes and there's a medium. Sometimes it goes up 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 or 4 bars. When it goes up a certain Mohs, those are Mohs hardness, it adds value. So like 1 or 2 bars is, let's say, $2. You're getting these parcels for really cheap basically. So and the people that are, I mean, it's a pretty nice situation to actually, you know be able to get somewhat of a natural mineral, and sometimes it can be valuable, like some of these clear jelly bean types. Even though these rocks are, you know, okay, but you would have to actually keep sorting things out. They might have different, things happening with them. But what with the rough, which these are, it's between $0 to $10, and if it's per carat, a carat is pretty much 1/5 of a gram, and then there's 28 grams in an ounce, and there's 16 ounces in a pound. So you get a bunch of material or colorful rocks and minerals. So if I were faceting or gem detecting a stone that's been cut and faceted, the price would pretty much go into the $10 range. So if it's like a 70 and it's faceted and weighing, and also with the gem detector, you also want a scale to actually get the final price. But that's just my loophole. That's pretty much practice memorizing, rough. And then there's facets. There's machine between rough and facets or gems and things. And then the weight of the you know stone, and that should bring you up to a value. The thing is, it collected, and the main thing is, there are some collectors that are starting off, so they want to keep their best ones, keep focusing on um where the gem is. um this one could be close to, it's either quartz or sapphire or corundum is what they call it. And there, if you could Google a gem hardness or Mohs chart and stuff, quartz is almost glass, and there's stuff with using like a copper penny to actually, or a scratch test basically. It's all based on scratches. But there's a couple backpacks there, a few other different types of shoulder bags. But I'm just going to stick to kind of this section. There's other things of just the noise and things. But with the sifter, I could definitely get a few things sifted, and then have mainly some space to sort out other things, even better sifters, or here's a different pan that is kind. I'm not have that much experience. It's pretty much the same size. It's just really hard to pretty much. This is what I have. So this one's a lot better. It's got all these side holes, and it actually fits. So this might be, pretty much pretty useful. I thought this one might have broken somewhere, but the main part is I'm going to be having, more dry dirt sometimes when you're at a beach, this and that. This would be a pretty good beach sifter, and also, like, needing a metal detector and things would be useful. And so it's a little hard to predict, but I kind of want to, yeah, it's really hard to predict. Want to keep some items just for, try to have pan, and even the smaller even different types of sifters like this one might. Just another sifter, and I've got like a bento box, they call it. It's a pretty good hand screwdriver. But yeah, you guys can kind of see this. It's going to mainly get all the sand and dust. So, and besides sifters and the helmet, I've got an umbrella, some flashlights, just to shine for walking. I do have, as I mentioned, sew up a bag or two, you know, just have things a little bit ready. I'll also have to have a hammer and some chisel that I've got to look through and you know, pretty much throw in this bag. It's a pretty good set of tools, sifting and things. It's not too overloaded, but you know, if I start loading up, you know, things are going to shit, you know, sorted. But eventually I'm gonna have to transfer everything. I don't, you know, for a real long-term you know, setup, I guess, professional stuff, this is, you know, I just have to get most of, so this is actually going to be a decent like somewhat of a more professional um with this other backpack. So this might, so I'm kind of practically going to use it, this luggage with this, just because it's all weather coated and stuff. So you know, keep sorting things out. Here's my rake or another tool and things. I do have my climbing harness, so you know, just for the more long-term. So it's a hard, you know, it's a hard set. You know, the climbing harness that I have, it's not the, I mean, it's a professional climbing harness, so you know, just in case, you know, doing something that's worth it is a few of my helmets here and there. I don't want to stick out too much with this one that I painted and you know, just pretty much made a different thing. So I could kind of just put this in a small collection. It actually matches pretty nicely. But as I've been, I have other helmet. Just depends on a few things. But I kind of like this. It's got a bill. I could pretty much prep this up. I kind of tried to probably, I weatherproofed and painted it and things. That's mostly emptied in this bag, and definitely working on a few things with sorting out the backpacks. Basically, if I want to go whole like situation, it's going to need a lot more. It's going to need pretty much the inside of one of my pants. This is clear silicone, so basically have it hanging up and drying, so it's going to add more weather resistance. I've got to turn it inside out or to the outside and then finish it with lacquer. So I'm going to do, I did the inside with silicone and then the outside and the outside, and this one I'm going to try to pretty much do it with silicone. I'm not going to worry too much on the inside on this one, but I've got pretty much some of the plastic bottles from other bags that I've been siliconing. It's missing the shoulder harness, so definitely a lot of stuff on, and basically have items to kind of figure out, you know, just some exploring boots that I wear, an inner boots, and just other stuff. For now, besides like, and these are, I got these off of Amazon. I got pretty much, I weatherproofed the out exterior or something, the duck boots. So but for like $40 tops and things, pretty comfortable to wear when it's raining. But I picked up a couple of extra bags. This is actually like a big like travel type of those wardrobe bags, I would call it. But you never know, maybe I could convert it to something. I just have it here. Bags and suitcases, and that's, you know, just having a few items here and there. I mean, you know, market and things. It's weatherproofing, so I've got